Justin, how does it feel to be named ACC Player of the Week?
It feels good, I work hard. I try my best to get these accolades and whatnot and try to win. But it's on to the next one now. The week's done. Got to focus up for Miami.
Justin, how surreal is it whenever they compare your 20-point, 20-rebound games and you see Tim Duncan and those kind of names and the stuff you're doing is being mentioned with those guys?
That means a lot to me. Growing up, I watched Tim Duncan. I watched him play the Miami Heat. I watched all them players. So it's just it's a good feeling knowing that people are recognizing what I'm doing. But gotta keep working harder.
Did you hear from a lot of people either Saturday night or Sunday about your efforts, Justin?
Yeah, my phone was still blowing up this morning. I heard from a lot of people, but this time I didn't really repost a lot of stuff because I spoke with coach and he was like, "Yo, you just gotta keep moving, keep on to the next one. That game's behind me." So everybody that reached out to me, I respect out to them, but I just didn't post on social media as much.
Justin, what's your approach going into a game? What do you think going into a game?
Well, I think going into what I really me personally, I think that I always say to myself, this might sound funny, but I say I'm tired of being broke. I always say that every game. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of my family struggling. So that's kind of my motivational factor is just my family and just being tired of being in the situation I'm in.
Justin, you and the guys that have been through some wars last year, what is it like getting ready to play your first ACC game this year? You guys, had a rough time in the conference last year. Obviously, you want to set a completely different tone going into this season. You got a lot of freshmen behind you guys that are getting a lot of minutes in these first 5 games. What's kind of the tone from you, Xavier, and some of the other experienced guys?
Well, every day we tell them non-conference is done. Non-conference is a whole different. It's a different animal than conference play because conference play the intensity picks up and all that. We try and focus them in practice because we all got short attention span, so we can't be just focus in for this 2 hours we got and just work as hard as we can so we can be prepared for Miami and whoever's next.
Justin, whenever you have a game or your brother has a game, what's it like whenever you're watching him play, and what are the conversations between you two like after each other's games?
Oh, that's crazy because yesterday they played Georgetown, they lost by 3 in overtime, and I didn't get to watch the full game, but I watched part of it. But we always call each other after the game and just point out little things where we could both do better at. Yesterday, he did okay. I just said yo, do more, get more rebounds. Your shot wasn't falling, so just go to the glass. And he always tells me the right same thing: go to the glass, get it off the glass, play your game and stay focused. At the end of the day, is just stay focused.
Justin, there's a chance Nike could be with you guys on the court Wednesday. What would he add to you guys?
He would add a lot. I think that. Personally, from being around him and speaking to him a lot during the game, he has a leader. He's a leader. He's just a born leader. You can tell by the way he moves and by the way he carries himself and whatnot. He's older. He has experience, and I just think that having a more experienced guy who played in a different conference, would help his team a lot. Just with some guidance.
Justin, we just talked with Coach a little while ago about kind of the general state of mental health among college basketball players right now. And I was hoping you could give us a little insight into kind of how you're doing, quite frankly, right now, and how you feel the rest of the team is handling kind of playing right now during a pandemic, during the holidays, being away from your family and things like that.
I think it's hard to be away from my family. I personally miss my family a lot. My little brother, I like to see him a lot. It's rough, knowing that you can't have certain people here, behind you to support you that's been there for your whole life. But, for the most part, we're adjusting to it pretty well, We come here every day, we work, the games, we try to make it as real as possible. There's people there, we laugh, we have fun, We make it enjoyable for ourselves during the game and stuff like that.
Justin, how do you deal with something like you saw what happened with Keontae? How do you guys, compartmentalize and deal with that situation?
Well, I didn't even know what happened. I don't really know the kid, but prayers up to him. But after the game, coach said prayers up to Keontae Johnson, and I found out what happened. And it's scary knowing that could happen at any time, But at the same time, we sit here, we tell ourselves this is the life and this is the path that we chose, and these are all the things that come along with it, So it's rough and it's scary thinking about that, but you gotta keep pushing. But prayers up to him though, for real. Hope he gets better.
Just speaking of that, Justin, how does Adis seem? How does he seem to be doing these past couple of days? Coach had mentioned earlier that he and Keontae Johnson are pretty close friends.
He, for the most part, he's been normal. He's been trying to put it, to the side and focus on basketball. You can tell it bothers him a little bit, but he's pushing through. He's working. He's going to be D. He's going to be a hard worker. He's going to fight through everything. So he's doing all right now.
We had talked a little bit earlier about mental health, and when we talked with Coach a couple days ago, he was saying how he thinks that this generation, given everything that you guys have had to endure here over these past 8 or 9 months, that he thinks you all are kind of are an exceptionally tough, an exceptionally tough generation of kids. I mean, do you kind of, obviously, I guess you're probably a little bit biased, but do you agree with that assessment and, based on what you've had to go through and what some of your teammates have?
Well, based on what I have to go through, I could tell my stuff. But speaking in the team aspect, I think that we've hit some like bumps in the road, and I think that for the most part we're a pretty sound and stable group with a bunch of toughness. A lot of things happened on the road, and I just feel like we're tough, and we're gonna keep pushing and keep fighting.
Justin, what do you think of this freshman you're playing with? This whole freshman class, a lot of playing time.
Oh, someone asked me this last time about Will's age and whatnot. I expect it from Will. I don't really care how old he is. I think that he's a great player. I think he has potential to be even better player. So the same with the other freshmen, John, Max, Femi, all of them. I expect good things from them. We pushed them in practice, and we just want them to be their best self on the court.
You mentioned Femi specifically, obviously another Brooklyn kid. You mentioned you were friends with him before he joined you guys here at Pitt. What do you think that means to the team to see him step up with X going to the bench with some early foul trouble the other night?
That means a lot. It's a bright spot for our team. He's been struggling for the past couple games. But to come in and control the game and get people to the right spots, it means a lot. It shows that he's growing, he's maturing, he's getting used to the college basketball game.
On the other end, what do you think it means for X to be able to slot in after kind of having some of those early fouls and early bench troubles, to be able to come in and adjust so smoothly to begin the second half there and separate you guys a little bit?
Me personally, I know like me thinking like of X, like I know what we're gonna get from X day in and day out, and like seeing him come in and get us going a little bit after having foul trouble is just, it's a bright spot. But at the same time, we expect that from X. X is one of our leading scorers and one of our better players. We expect that from him.